Conspiracy theories. I heard that the moon wasn't really landed on. I heard the earth is flat. I heard that the government manufactured COVID-19. Well, that one might be. We are living in an age of what's the truth? We're all searching for the truth. And some of these conspiracy theories, if you watch any of the videos or go down the rabbit hole, they can be quite intoxicating and somewhat plausible because they mix a little bit of fact, a little bit of fiction, and throw skepticism, reasonable doubt, if you will. Now, I have many friends, family, coworkers that would say things that would be deemed the label of conspiracy theorist. Things that I flat out did not agree with. And as they're explaining them, I'm going, that's crazy sauce. And you lump them into this category of crazy sauce or gullible. Now, the problem with that is some of those things might be true. Some of them, flat out, flat earth. You can't convince me that the earth is flat. Now, you watch one of those videos, again, you're going to go, ooh, well, maybe. And some of you viewers might think XYZ, and that's all right. Because most of these things are opinions. And opinions and facts, those are the things that kind of get intermingled. Now, I just said it's an opinion, but actually it's a fact. It's a fact that the earth is round. But these opinions can muddy the waters and trick people into believing that the earth is actually flat. But you go down Sasquatch, Nessie, UFOs. Now, I totally 100%, 99.9% that we believe that we landed on the moon. But now if some new information came out and you had Buzz Aldrin and all these astronauts and people sitting down going, all right, this is how we did it. This is why we did it. It was a race with the Soviets. And I would go, oh, okay, you could change my opinion on that because I wasn't there. But the technology and the reasons behind people that use to say that we didn't land on the moon, not so much. I can't go along with that. Like the reflection of the helmet, and there's the sun glare, but the sun is in this corner, and that's impossible. Again, they muddy the water with these reasonable doubts, like, oh, maybe they're right. And we all kind of have this function inside of us that wants that mystery and has a strong distrust of people. I have many problems with not trusting people because I've watched lying. There was a saying when I worked as a school resource officer for 5 years in a pretty rough school. One of the head of security taught me early on, because I was in my early 20s, they say if the kids' lips are moving, they're lying. And with my own children, with people I've seen lie over and over and over again, and it's the old, you catch your hand in the cookie jar. No one wants to be held responsible. They'll lie, then they're caught, they'll make excuses, and they'll rationalize their mistakes. It's kind of like a known human behavior. So many of us, especially in this day and age, are pretty distrustful of the common man, because people are sinful. We make mistakes. Government is set up on power and money. Those are the two things, and they're intermingled. Now, there are many people within our government that have our best interest at heart, but some, shocker, spoiler, do not. And there's some deeper things going on. With the word conspiracy theory, it can be weaponized because there's a lot of crazy things that came out during COVID-19. People drinking silver, people saying saunas would kill the thing, ivermectin, which the jury's still out. Could that be a free drug that was offered that could help you with COVID-19, but the pharmaceutical companies didn't want you to have it? That's certainly plausible. Now, do I 100% believe that? No. Am I going to die on a hill arguing with someone saying, you're wrong and I'm right? No, because I don't know. And my Christian belief, I can't remember the specific Bible verse, talks about truth. And there's only one truth, and my truth relies on the Lord Jesus Christ and the principles in the Bible. Now, does that make me a hypocrite when I do sinful things and screw up? Yeah, it does. It does. And am I always right? No, I'm not. I'm giving you my opinions on many issues going on. But another way that it can be weaponized is certain things intermingled. Say, a lot of that crazy talk going back to COVID-19, there's probably some true ones mixed into the crazy labels of conspiracy theories. Now, what if, like I said, the ivermectin thing, what if that one is true, but you start talking about that and the media, your friends, your coworkers, the government, everyone goes, no, you're wrong. So they lump you into some flat earther type person because you believe in one thing that may be right. Now, the Sasquatch. Now, I loved learning about UFOs when I was a kid because I wanted to believe, like the old saying in the X-Files, I want to believe. And is it possible? Sure. But I always use the thing possible versus probable. Everything's possible. A meteor falling out of the sky right now and hitting my head and killing me is possible, but it's not probable. So I'm not wearing a stinking helmet when I go outside because the odds of that happening are pretty slim to none. So there is possibilities, and I keep my mind open to other types of new information. Now, in law enforcement, we had to make some split decisions like that constantly, or go to scenes, say something simple as domestic violence, and you got him saying this happened, she's saying this happened, and oftentimes the truth is a little bit in between, and you have to find who's more at fault because they're in these crazy relationships, they're both hitting on each other. Typically the man has maybe some more anger issues, rage issues, and does some serious damage to his wife, his girlfriend, whatever. And statistically, yeah, the man goes to jail more than the female, but that doesn't mean every single time. And you have to try to use the facts of the situation to build reasonable suspicion to make a judgment call on what happened. Now, throughout all my hundreds of arrests, could I have made the wrong decision? It's possible. Oh, my supervisors don't want to hear that. It's possible that I made but you get good at eliciting the truth, building the pieces together, and making an informed decision on something that there's not. What the public wants is the smoking gun, the video evidence. You don't have the luxury of that all the time. So I've had many sit-downs with people I respect, people I love, and they believe things that conspiracy type things that fall into that category, like President Trump won the election. Now, if you're watching this and you really think he won, okay. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible. Is it probable? I don't think so. But they like to throw in, conservatives, which I love to go to Fox and CNN to try to figure out what the truth in between, because they're both spinning things. They're both giving you alternative facts to try to sway opinions for some larger reason. Now, my brain goes to the conspiracy theory stuff with government power, motivations of why people do what they do. And I'm sure I'm right. But if I start spouting that off constantly, people are going to loop me into the crazy bin. But I'm to the point in my life where I don't care anymore. I'm going to give you my opinions. I'm going to kind of give you the foundations of what I believe. And I'm open to hear whatever your thoughts and opinions are as well. I like having these kinds of discussions. I'm not going to just block people. And this came up recently when I was talking to my old man regarding conspiracy theories and why people believe in them, where they get fed with their knowledge. And I was going, whoa, what if I could make a video? What if I could just kind of step by step show people why they get hooked into these kinds of things and go down the rabbit trail of disbelieving everything. And then my dad goes, everyone has their own truths and their own bubble of their world. And I started dwelling on that a little bit more and realizing that, I'm an American. I live in a bubble. My problems are insignificant to the majority of the world that focuses on survival. And our priorities, our perspectives are very flawed because that's what we grew up with. That's what we were indoctrinated as a culture to believe in the American dream and prosperity and work bootstraps and get to work and work and the American dream of being successful, which there's a ton of positives regarding that. But it also leaves out a huge narrative of what the rest of the world is going to. And those are some uncomfortable truths that most people don't even like talking about or acknowledging, or are too complex to even go down. Same with law enforcement. You get one bad shoot, a police officer shoots someone, and maybe it's a white cop shoots a African American person, which I'm going to refer to as black many times. And if you want to cancel me, that's how I grew up. And that's how my law enforcement career started. How do you describe someone over the radio? Brief, black male, BM. Anyway, the narrative has been for many years, racist officers. Those cops, more than likely, did not wake up going, I'm going to kill a black person today. No, the situations got out of control and made a split decision, killed someone, and the media likes to paint this broad brushstrokes of it was racism. This is racism, and leaves out a lot of the other complex facts on what happened that day. And it's horrible. It's horrible. But then law enforcement as a whole gets painted this broad brushstrokes, and it was every person that I pulled over that happened to be black. You're pulling me over because I'm black. I'm like, no, I'm pulling you over because you weren't wearing your seatbelt and your kids aren't wearing your seatbelt. But again, it goes back to responsibility, and that's a whole nother can of worms we can talk about later on. But focusing on conspiracy theories, I live in my own bubble world. I get to walk out in nature, talk with you guys, get things off my chest, and my real world problems pale in comparison to the vast majority. And my success and are due to God and some complex things that we have going on in American society. I'm being vague, I know, but I want to dive in. I'm eager to learn. I love learning new things, and I want to instill that let's not judge each other. Let's not just put people into broad categories, because I'm wrong, you're wrong on many things, many things. And we all have sin that we're dealing with, and sin is sin, as sin is sin. And I'm going to be talking about this a lot in cop culture, judgment culture. We assign categories to sin, whether it's stealing, larceny, or assault and battery, and there's different consequences, which is fine. We need those penalties. But God looks at sin as it's all the same. And remember, Jesus said, you lust after a woman with your eyes is the same as actually physically cheating. There's no discerning between the two in God's eye. Both are sin and both are equally wrong. And with Christian theology or Christian belief, my belief is God covers those sins through the blood of Jesus Christ, and we can even go back longer why blood matters. And I know that sounds crazy to my unbelieving people, but these are things I want to dive into Because I don't care anymore. I don't care. I'm going to share my opinions. All right. I love y'all. Tell me what you think. Bye.